can hear me loud and clear. Can you? I am the I Alfred. I am Onyechi. You can see success. You can see Waliyat or Waliya. This may be. Um, Hi everyone. I hope you can all see my screen. Uh, all right. So let's start. Let's start. Good evening once again. Um, so nice to meet you all. At least to meet you all. And I would say I think this is the third class. Yeah, this is apparently the third class. And I'm going to assume and say for sure, for certain, that we've had good experiences, so many things we've learned in the last three classes and last two classes and last 2 weeks, excuse me. And to continuation of uh, getting better or becoming better product designers, um, we need to create a clear roadmap to learning and building projects, and that is why I'm here today to take us through how how some of the necessary concepts around building and learning how to come up with projects, especially as building designers. I'm a product designer at Semicolon Labs. I I have a background in engineering, software engineering. I did that for a short while before I transitioned into design, and that has more experience. As we go, as we get along, I would share some of my experiences, my challenges, and some of the things that helped me so far. I I have over 3 years of experience designing. Yeah, 3 years of experience doing product design, and it has been quite a journey. It has been uh, not necessarily smooth or linear, but it has been quite an interesting journey for me. I'm obsessed about design. I love design. I think, talk, and think about design, and it's what I do. It's what keeps the light on. Is what I love doing, and it's what I love to talk about to people. It's really teach and educate or maybe enlighten people about what design is. Um, so that being said, let's jump into what matters for the day. So, what's a roadmap and why do we need one? Let me quickly add before we start lectures or start the talk. Please, if you have something to say, as you can see, I cannot see if your hands are raised. And I guess you can see my screen, right? Can you also see my screen? Okay. All right. Yeah. So yeah, this is, and here's my face. Here's what I look like, and I mean, you can just bump in, bump into each other on the street. You know, don't forget to say hi. Yeah. So, what's a roadmap really? A roadmap. Oh, I was going to say that before I start. And if you want to say anything, if you have anything you want to like ask a question, like a comment, anything at all that you would
Sorry, sir, your voice is
say.
not really clear.
How about now? Can you hear me now? Is it better now?
Right, this is better.
All right. Thank you. So if there's anything you want to say, please do well to just raise your hand or say something because I can't really see if your answer is right. But say something or perhaps raise your hand out. Keep on checking. Mm. If you set out to go somewhere, so you're going from point A to point B, right? There are many ways to get to point B. A typical example for we that live in Lagos, so let me see bigger chance really is I'm going from, let's say, from the mainland to the island. I'm going from Ejualega to the island, right? So that's the center point, right? There are different ways to get to the island. I think there are about three bridges to get to the island. So depending on where I am and how long I want to spend on the road and some other factors, right? I can take a route. I can create a roadmap. Do you see? So in this context, it's just a guide. It's a guide. It's a journey. It's like a journey map. Really, it's like a course chart, right? So this is the course I want to take, and I mean the course like a journey I want to take, and this is my endpoint. This is where I'm going to. So this is how I want to go about it, or this is how I should go about it, based on certain factors. But most times roadmaps are also centered around certain things, around timing, around efficiency, right? So what is the fastest route to get there? Because again, time is of the essence. What is the best route to get there? We are able to get to, and really, what route is going to help me become at least a better person even when I get to where I want to get to. You see, once I will contribute to my experiences, so I can say that whilst on the journey to get to this point, I experienced this, and that has molded me, that has shaped my experiences to become who I am today. So all of these things are actually very important to standard. And so it's a detailed plan to guide detailed plan to guide progress towards a goal, or I can just simply put that it's a journey. So what a roadmap is not is it's not linear. It's not always straight at least. I can assure you that most times roadmaps aren't always like a straight journey, like just one straight line. It's not linear. It's not a parking lot, right? Take for example, you are going from Lagos to Ibadan, or you're going from the mainland to the island. You see, you don't just stop at, let's say, the foot of the bridge, at depending on where you're going through, the foot of the bridge, third, first or second mainland bridge, and you stop. You haven't you haven't got you're still on the road, you're still on the journey. So you are not really going to stop at some point. So it's not a parking lot. It's not where you're meant to stay. You have to forge ahead. It's not necessarily a smooth sail, right? It's not a smooth sail. There will be some twists and turns. There will be a bit of delay, traffic. Maybe the red light says stops at some point, or you just bump into someone and you have to like maybe you know, talk to the person, or you made a mistake, or you just had like, some issue with traffic officials. It could be anything at all. But in most cases, it's not necessarily a smooth sail. You can't you can't go from one point to another without actually hitting your brakes. Right? So you hit your brakes sometimes to stop, sometimes you pump them, you fire all cylinders to get ahead faster. So it's not really like a cast in stone sort of thing. It's not dogmatic, neither is it mechanical. There has to be some level of twists and turns to it. So it's not your goal. A roadmap is not your goal. A roadmap is not your destination. Right? So saying this in the context of roadmap and examples are in the context of journey because you would find out eventually that the path of learning is perpetual and also at the same time it's it's like a mountain, right? It's not always uh, all jolly and rosy like that. So why do I need a roadmap, right? For clarity and direction. So it helps to set clear milestones and direction. So you can see when you are going most times, as a child, I used to wonder why there's this very green large board. I don't know what it's called. I'm pretty sure it's the name for it. There's one green large board that you see on the road. So they're either attached to like a suspension or a bridge or a pedestrian bridge. You see, so and they just write maybe they can write over in two kilometer. You can write window. They just write the place and they write like a distance. So it will take you this time, like a direction. In some cases, they write the place and they write the time. Or you don't say the time, but the distance take you to cover because time is relative. Time is actually measured against speed. So it will take you 20 kilometers to get to your if you take this direction, I guess. So growing up, I figured out that it's just like a direction for people that are not really, that are not familiar with the city. So think of somebody just coming from Port Harcourt or from Abuja, and the person is going to a place in Lagos. So without really asking anyone about the map, the person has an idea, some clear sense of where all he or she is going to by those things. So those are what roadmaps are pretty much, at least in case. And it helps to set clear milestones and directions. And it helps in tracking and motivation. So you know where you are going to, you know where you are, you know how much you've covered, you know how much is left for you to cover. So you can track progress and stay motivated. And so it's also very, very important that you have all these things in the pocket or at least in your head as you go. So fundamental, and it's also fundamental and pivotal. Trust me, it's crucial, right? That as you step out or as you set off, it's okay for you to have like a roadmap. It's okay for you to have like an idea or more like a high level sketch on where you want to end or where you are going. So it's it's fundamental. It's very pivotal. It's crucial that you have it. It ensures that you build a strong foundation before advancing. So you know already what you are going to meet. At least you have an idea of what you're going to meet, and you most likely prepare for it. So think about it that at some point you want to move from the island to the mainland or mainland to the island, and you know that you're going to take a bridge. So on the bridge, there's there are most cases in most cases, at least here in Nigeria, we don't have alternative route on the bridge. So and you know there might be traffic. Right? So you might necessarily just get more food in your car, maybe get more food. Just make sure that at that point in time where you'll be stuck in traffic, you'll be fine. Do you see? So it's fundamental and it's pivotal. And I hope you guys can actually hear me clearly. All right. So the learning path, the product design learning path, perpetual path, right? So it continues, and the part of this part is divided into three. So the good enough, and the great. And so now at the beginner level, or like I said, the good level, you learn the basics, like every other field, the basics, the one ones, the rudiments, right? The fundamentals, right? So you learn the basic principles of UI UX and the tools. There are lots of principles that you find in books, in resources, materials as beginners that will actually guide and help you to understand certain things. And even as a beginner, you will do certain things that you don't understand yet, or you don't know why you are doing them yet. But maybe where you work, your superior or your lead or anything that is being called as your mentor just tells you, you know what, do this. And you just wonder why do I have to do this? So at the beginner level, you are still chewing or you are still absorbing the very fundamentals and the very basics. You might not really know all of the answers to certain questions, but you understand the basic results. Now, the good enough, which is intermediate, right? This is where you start to refine your skills and build projects. Right? These projects are coming different forms, various styles. It could be a simple mobile app. It could be you designing your favorite company, your favorite tool, anything that holds here and sacred. You're designing a learning page that you think it's not as good. And the intermediate stage is a stage you will actually be art for a long time. Yeah, it's like the crossover. So it's a stage where most of us are. Even I can say that I am at this stage. So you start to build projects and refine skills. You start to um, see things through a different lens. You start to understand certain principles that you have been applying before, that you can't give an answer to why you are doing what you are doing. You start to um, uh, approach design differently. Start to create a style of design that is your own peculiarities. Even when you follow certain guidelines, you just start to curate your own style of design, right? Because now you are getting hands-on experiences like building projects, and your skills are pretty much refined in the course, right? So the grades or the advanced is where some of the people that we revere are. There are lots of names that comes to mind. Um, yeah, I don't want to mention anybody names. I'm not here to push anybody into down anybody, but you can go on YouTube. Most of these guys on YouTube. Some of the guys on Twitter. Some of the guys on um, Beyonce. You know a couple of them by heart, and if you don't, you can basically choose or find one that you can talk to. There are a lot of them. I mean, supposedly, or say presumably on ADP list, right? That can be, or that we can regard as the senior guys, right? The senior designers. Right? So they create on the advanced, they specialize and they have a niche. You see, some people see they call themselves interaction designer and a UI designer and a product designer, right? UX, right? Right? They have niched down. Some of them have niched down, and you can tell that they have their badges, right? They have their stars on their shoulder because to some extent they have solved complex problems. If not complex, they have solved problems, right? So they have their product out there, they have their names out there, certain products. We hear certain products and we remember their names. Do you see? Right? So those are like the great guys, senior guys. So, I mean, we won't get there if you continue in the path yourself. So for the beginner level, right, the resource aren't that much, right? Starting out, please, whoever that is, can we have your mic turned off?
Hmm.
Can you see my screen, guys?
Careful.
Sorry, please, can you turn off? All right. So please let me know if you can see my screen. Just say yes. Anybody at all. Just say yes if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can hear. We can see your screen.
And you hear me clearly, right?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So for the beginners resource stage, yeah, you can take Google UX design courses on Coursera. Some of them are free. Yeah, as far as I know, some of them are free. Some of them are paid. But I think you can opt in for the free one. IDF is the Interaction Design Foundation. Forgive me for using an abbreviation. I get too familiar with these guys because I'm actually a member of the IDF of the Interaction Design Foundation. So it's really a solid. So I think it's the best. Yeah, not because I'm a member. I think it's the best um, forum for designers, right? So you learn a lot, and you can. I think the certifications are pretty much they are industry recognized, right? It's not, forgive me, they're not as cliche as some other, popular design courses. But then the point is not to stand out, which it's not necessary to stand out. It's not necessary to have like a special certification. The point really is to learn, right? So you can actually go on to, Coursera, Udemy. There are lots of design courses out there, but I can certify for, I can say for Google UX design on Coursera, and I can say for ideas, so the basics, right? So books, please, you can read Steve Krug's "Don't Make Me Think." It's a good book. It's a good book for usability design, understanding your user experience really. So it's one of the books that should be find very easy to read. So here is a mash of an easy book to read and a not so easy book to read. Right. So the first one I would say is easy to read. Then the things the Krog, you can check out the revised edition, right? And do it. So do it, or the design of everyday things, right? Is written by Don Norman, the father of user experience himself. I think there are two. So there's Nelson Norman, Jacob Nelson, and Don Norman. So you can check the N group, right? So it's like that's like your revered and standard source of UX or UI design or product design really.
Where do you say we can get the
Anything
book,
you find
sir?
on those places.
Sir,
Huh?
where do you say we can
Sorry, I
get
can
the
hear you
book?
clearly. You can get them online. You can get just type "Don't Make Me Think" PDF, free PDF downloads. You get them online. I was saying in an N group because one of the members of NN, that is Don Norman, wrote the design of everyday things. Do it. So it's a good book. It's a good book. It's a good book that exposes you to design beyond just product design. So you understand certain concepts outside the auspices of digital product design, right? So tools, I mean, your go-to tool these days is basically Figma. You can learn some other tools around, maybe Miro, Jam for interaction, or flowchart design. You can you can lay your hands on Adobe XD. But really, most people use this these days use Figma, to be frank. So you don't just lay your hands on different tools and maybe waste your precious time, right? So just go ahead with Figma. Figma is sufficient enough for you. And so your practice really is just redesigning existing applications and dealing with UI challenges, right? So you must have heard, or someone must have mentioned to you, daily UI challenge, 100 years of design and designing existing applications. So if you like Pinterest, if you like WhatsApp, Facebook, any app that you think you can you like enough to you create it or redesign it, please go ahead. Because designing is like most ambidextrous traits that you learn how to design by designing. Right? You can read about designing all year long, and if you don't practice, it's just going to stay there, and you are not really going to know, how these things are applied. So it's much more pragmatic than theoretical, I'd say. So the intermediate stage, you start to do advanced stuff. So advanced design courses on in I mean on in IDF at IDF rather. So at the International Design Foundation, you can take advanced UX courses. They are, they are very so those ones are a bit deeper. So things like human computer interaction, things like courses like um, let me remember this particular course. It's actually gave me some tough time because it's a bit advanced. And mobile design. We are designing mobile applications. So specifically, there's a course that we take to design mobile applications, usability testing, courses like that. And they have more courses now since the last time I checked. Uh, and please, I'll say this: that's the best time you can actually take courses, or you have time to take courses. Uh, at the times in which you don't really have like a 9 to 5 as a designer. Trust me, when you have like a 9 to 5 as a designer, you have to now consciously you have less time to act, less time to go ahead and take courses. So take as much as you can now, prep yourself, prime yourself, and you. So when the time comes, you can actually apply them, and you even have certifications for yourself. Because when you start, right, when you become good enough and start working as a designer, you would you most likely have this semester to take courses because you'll be worried about your day, your 9 to 5. Right. So one of the books you should read is Code and New UX. So you can see now that these books are now bordering on experience design, right? So if you think about the word UI UX is a combination of two things. So user interface, that's the visuals, and there's the experience, interaction, the feel of the product, which is most times very subtle. You only know that the experience is bad when the product is bad or when the design is bad. A good experience when a product is properly designed, you don't necessarily remember or you don't necessarily feel the experience. So good products, you don't even know that they are good. You guys, you really have to, wow, they just come like that. This is good. This is the one time. But once you use it, it's so seamless and smooth that you don't know how good the product is. But if you have to notice something about the interaction or the experience of the product, then it's a bad experience and it's something negative. You see, yeah, so you can read about Hooked. Hooked will actually expose you to so many things that most of these applications use to make us come back to their products. Lyrics will also help you understand how to how to design good experiences, especially when you're in a fast or a fast-paced sort of workspace. Oh, that sounds like right. So when you're in a fast-paced environment, it gives you an idea on how to design the product. It just exposes you to the world of experience design. So here you build a portfolio and you collaborate on hackathons. So collaborate on hackathons, you collaborate with, you think about someone that wants to build his or portfolio as a front-end engineer. So you can design something for them and they build it up. So it's a win-win now. So the person has something in his or portfolio as a front-end developer and develop and deploy it. And you have something that you're designing that's life. So in most cases, you will have collaborations, friendship, relationships with designers, but a good or I'll say an equally um, good relationship is that with a front end engineer. Yeah. Even for gigs and trust me for collaborations that would foster and better your resume or your public profile as a designer. Yeah. So that we have the grades, and so yeah, you see HCI edX the courses, so you take design leadership on idea. And so then here you begin to see tags like design lead, um, things like head of design, creative director, things like even things like VP design, right? You can see because you think about the books that are here, they are design